15 games in the NHL for today. It's a Thursday version of the Frozen Frenzy. We'll try and talk about as many of them as we can here on PuckTime. WagerTalk TV, Andrew, Carmine, Prez with you to break down some games, give you some props, and Carmen's back with his POD. Hope you guys all had a winning and fun Wednesday night in the NHL. Small slate, but I believe we did lead you in the right direction with some picks, myself and Don Buster yesterday on the show. Happy to have Carmine back. We'll bring Carmine in, and then we'll go right to Prez with his breakdown. Good morning, Carm. Good to see you.
I'm happy to be back, Andrew. For those that didn't know, and I'll make it really quick because we got to get the Prez in and out. He's got another recording to do, but slipped a disc. 48 hours in bed. You can only walk on your hands and knees to get to the bathroom and back, but feeling better. I can only sit up for about 30, 35 minutes. So this show before I got to lie back down again, but I'm getting better. I'm happy. And a huge game, 15 games tonight, only one tomorrow, but we're still gonna have a show tomorrow because we got to do the 6 and 60, 5 wins, 1 push on the 6 and 60 last weekend. We're going to top it this week, a 6-0 week. I feel it, Andrew. But the last game of the night tonight is the Dallas Stars and the Vegas Golden Knights. And because he's short on time, let's bring him right in. Prez, I didn't give you the Leafs and the Seattle Kraken. I did give you, though, this game. Where are you? There you are. There you are.
Yeah, sometimes it's a little tricky.
Show.
How are you, everybody? Love to be here. Carmine Bianco in the house. What's going on, bro?
Not much, man. Loving the hat.
Appreciate it.
It's we have like what, 5 days left, 6 days left before the NHL break, Prez. It's a good break because I think you're going to enjoy it as well too. It's like 20 days off with no NHL. It sucks, but
listen, I'm all about international play. I'm cheering hardcore for Sweden at the Olympics. So go Swedes. Tonight, Dallas playing Vegas. This is a great game, Carm. Two really good teams, but Dallas and we've been riding them, me and my clients, for a while now. They're in the process of sort of fixing that horrible slump that they were in of late. Vegas has lost 4 of 5. And the struggle here for me is Vegas's goaltending and their defense. This team has allowed 10 goals in their last 2 games. Everybody is scoring on them right now. And that's sort of where I'm looking. I found a 6, so not a 6.5. And I really like the over in this hockey game. Now, Dallas just went over 4-3 against St. Louis. Before that, they went under twice in a row. But you look at this matchup, and I say to myself, okay, Vegas is going to get us some goals here. They're coming home after 2 bad losses, a horrible 4-game road trip. I think both these teams are going to score tonight. Vegas is struggling to keep the puck out of the net. Dallas has got offense galore. I'm not going to overthink this play. I don't have a long handicap here. This is a 2% client play for my clients. I like the over in this game, Carm. If I had to bet a side, Andrew, I actually would lean on Vegas, but very slightly. And that's only because they're coming into this game with 2 losses, Dallas with 2 wins. And I think both these teams are around the same. So I'd rather catch the flip-flop, if you will.
Yeah, it's one of those.
I was just going to say, I kind of like Dallas in this spot, and I'll explain why. And I put up a free play on it. It's also a small 2% client play. But, the Vegas Golden Knights come off that 4-game road trip. Wasn't a great one. They've had 1 day of rest. They play on the 27th. They travel back home, East Coast trip. And their only win was that emotional return of Mitch Marner to Toronto. The team seemed to have left it off the ice. I faded them against the Montreal Canadiens. Thankfully, Andrew's Habs team got me the win there in that one. Now they return home, and Dallas seems to have their number. They've beaten them 5 of 6 games. They beat them in Vegas 4-3 in OT. And it's just one of those ones where Vegas went through that nice little run. Dallas went through that slump where they went 2-12. But they've won 3 or 4 games now. They're playing better. And it's just one of those ones where I don't want to lay any vig with either one of these teams. So
Yeah.
getting some plus money with Dallas seems like the right thing.
Yeah, and what about looking at taking overtime here? I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if this game ends up being an OT game. So I don't disagree, Carm. Like, I'm not going to be betting Vegas here. My lean is on Vegas. I understand your Dallas pick. I'm just going to bet the over and hope for scores, really. That's sort of how I'm tacking it. Now, honestly, I would do the same with the Leafs. I would take the over with the Leafs, too. I just don't like that it's 6.5. So it did not make my client list.
All right, dude, 30 teams in action tonight, 15 games. Tell us what you have over at WagerTalk.
Yeah, so I got 4 NHL plays up tonight. That's about as big as it gets for me and my clients. But I'm absolutely rolling right now in both the NBA and college basketball. 15-5 run, 8-2 run in basketball. I'm on a 9-1 college basketball run. I've won the NBA my last 3 days. So I got 1 NBA and 1 college basketball play up tonight. As well. I'm excited about the card. I'm excited about the night. Thanks for having me, everybody. And I won't see you next week, so we'll see you in the week after the Super Bowl. I just remember when watching the Super Bowl, lots of betting opportunities the following day. So no need to make or lose all your money on that game.
It's just one game.
Yep.
Well said. Well said.
Game. So
happy birthday, Habs Relic. Okay, boys.
Two guys with their 60th birthday today. Habs
Who
Relic
else?
and Hockey Talk.
Hockey Talk. Happy birthday, you guys.
Yeah.
Lots of love.
2 Habs fans, 60th birthday. Love to see that. That's some good luck.
What do you like?
Right
do you like the Habs tonight, Andrew?
I'm worried about them tonight.
I think it's a bad spot. Colorado's coming off of an 18 shot on goal performance. They have lost 2 in a row before, but they have never been that anemic. Last night was Colorado's worst game of the season. I'd be scared of them right now.
Some people think they're in cruise control till the Olympics right now. I mean, they've kind of
sure
collapsed.
they are. Sure. You know what? I can give you a list of a whole lot of other things some people think that are also completely stupid.
Well, have they not lost
get out of here.
last 6 games? Have they or not?
Oh, so that means that they're in cruise control. They had a meeting. They got all their play. They're like, guys, we're going on cruise control.
They're playing like shit. They look
That
awful.
doesn't mean they're on cruise control. That means they're playing like shit. Later, everyone.
All right. See you later, man.
I got to go. Love you, boys.
Go. Andrew,
Oh,
you know what?
man.
You know what Colorado
it is
reminds
good to
me
have
of?
you back, and I missed
Thanks,
you, but I also am just happy to have it be me and you. It's just the 2 of us again here.
Andrew, you know what Colorado feels like right now? When some of these teams get off to, they have this great run, and then they lose a few games in a row. If I could put it in terms of like life in general, it is like, imagine you're on the highway, and you're making excellent time, and you're passing all these cars. And then your girlfriend or wife says to you, I got to pee. So you pull over at the rest stop. And then all those cars that you made, that you passed the whole time, you've got to repass them again. All that time you made up is spent sitting there while someone goes to pee at the rest stop off the highway. That is what it feels like with the Colorado Avalanche. But they're missing a couple of players. When they get back to full strength, Andrew, they'll be fine. This is a very good hockey team. And I think they mentioned on the game yesterday, the Ottawa had lost like 6 games in January or something like that. Vegas had only lost like 6 games the whole season. So that's got to tell you something about how this team is doing. But with
Carmine, I was talking
said,
about this yesterday with Buster about the Eastern Conference right now versus the West. I know that you only missed a couple of days, and you and I have talked about this, but I think that right now this is one of those things where, like, the Eastern Conference, we have to take it into account with our handicapping when it comes to the odds that they're that much better than the West. Like, look at the Ottawa Senators. Look at some of the wins they've been able to pull off. They're second last in the Atlantic Division, right? Like, it's kind of like in college basketball when people look at ranking versus the odds, right? If you see a team that is ranked higher, who do you care more about, the ranking or what the books think about them? Typically, you think about what the books think about them. You don't really give a shit about the ranking. And I feel like right now the East is just flexing their muscles a lot more. Like, did you know that I had this tweet saved? Actually, I got to find this. Like some of the and I'm getting a little bit tired of these teams that are getting these overtime loss points. You and I have talked a lot about this over time, but the Winnipeg Jets have more regulation wins than the Vegas Golden Knights. So, like, if it wasn't for the Golden Knights having all those OT losses, they would be in a similar situation as some other bad teams. They're just getting those OT losses. So maybe they're not as good as we really thought they were in some of these other teams really right now. The East is actually a lot better than we maybe thought they were.
Yeah, Andrew, it's one of those things with this Vegas team is they have a good team. They're going to, you always say they're going to put it together. But at the end of the day, here's the thing: is they've led the Pacific for a while, but now the Edmonton Oilers are pulled in to win within a point. We talked about how the Eastern Conference was so balanced, and pretty much any team could still make the playoffs. You look at the Vegas Golden Knights; they are first in the Pacific on 63 points, and they're 6 points away from missing the playoffs because the LA Kings have 57. As bad as the Kings have played, the Kings have 57 with a game in hand. San Jose is right there and playing some lights out hockey as well too. You know, the Oilers are going to contribute and continue to win games. Like, I'm not saying the Vegas Golden Knights by any means are missing the playoffs. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying it has suddenly become competitive in the Western Conference, and the teams that were running away with it are starting to come back a little bit. And the thing is, you have to adjust your betting accordingly, guys, because if you're betting with the same mentality you did in the first 2 or 2.5 or 3 months of the season, that the Avs aren't going to lose any games, let me just add them onto a ticket and play them single or play them regulation or play them puck line or add them onto a parlay because they're minus 250. Those are the ones that come back and bite you in the ass. They've lost 3 of their last 4 games. You know what I mean? And they had lost like back-to-back games at home. So, you know, the Minnesota Wild went through that stretch where they lost a bunch of games, and now they're starting to kind of zigzag, but that was a big win for them last time out. And the Stars losing 12 of 14 games, and this team is 3rd overall in the Western Conference, but still a lot of work to do. So, you know, with that said, you have to adjust your thinking and start looking at some of these teams that are in the bottom half. Andrew, you look at the teams that the Utah, and I'm just looking at the last 5 games. Utah, 4 wins in the last 5 games. Anaheim Ducks, 4 wins in the last 5 games, and they went through a stretch where they lost 9 games in a row. San Jose Sharks, 3 of their last 4 games wins. The LA Kings, 3 wins in a row, and they're in Buffalo tonight. So these are the teams that are now starting to shorten and put some pressure on those teams above them that, hey, we can't go into a long streak. And that's what worries me about the Vegas Golden Knights, that at the end of the day, Andrew, the Vegas Golden Knights are 25 and 27. They are under 500. And obviously this 1-3 road trip for them had something to do with it. So it's something that you have to factor into your handicapping. You can't just blindly put a team in to your tickets just because they're in the top 3 or 4 in the standings. Look at how this team's playing. And you've advocated that many times throughout the season, is keep an eye on how these teams are doing, and rightfully so.
Yeah, it's a league of what have you done for me lately? And since the last time you and I spoke, your Buffalo Sabres just keep on winning, man. You know, some of these teams that weren't always great before. And that's kind of how I feel like I'm getting a bit old, because I think I started on PuckTime at this point, maybe 6-7 years ago. And we're starting to finally see some of these teams that have been rebuilding for so long, you know, making the playoffs or being in playoff spots. And some teams that maybe weren't are you know, or were in there, are slipping a little bit. So guys, 15 games today, as we mentioned. I got a couple of the comments already started away for later. Comment any quick games or questions you have. We'll make sure to touch on them at the end of the show. It'll be more rapid fire, but Carm and I want to get to all your guys' questions. Carm, let's get to the next game here. We already kind of talked about it a little bit. This price here, 125, 130 on Colorado. Total at 6.5. So, massive goalie news in Montreal. I guess a team can never really be satisfied, right? They fired their goaltending coach yesterday. Huge news from the team. And a lot of the reasons I think would have been because of what happened Saturday against Boston and Montembeault struggling so much. And really the success that all the players in Laval have been having, it's not really translating to the NHL. So Marco Marciano gets promoted to Montreal from Laval, and he has a great reputation as a goaltending coach. So Marciano will now be taking over. And we had guys in the chat kind of joking around saying, is it going to be a new goalie coach bump? Does the coaching bump work when it's a new goalie coach? We'll find out. But Carm, my point is with all this though, is that Montembeault has clearly struggled. Everyone's kind of given him the chances. He's gotten so many chances. Dobish is the guy. He wins the other day against Vegas. They decide to put him out here again today. We'll see if he would play again on Saturday against your Buffalo Sabres. But as Prez mentioned on the way out, the Avalanche, I think, what was it, like a few minutes into the third period, I think I turned the game on yesterday, and they had like 13 shots on goal or something. So they're not going to be happy. But it's the same thing that I said to you the other day, and you said, don't worry, the Habs are going to be just fine. So just because they have a pissed off team coming to town doesn't always mean they're going to lose, because Vegas was pissed off after losing, 7-1 against Ottawa, and then they still ended up getting the job done. So I have a hard time, though, not looking for goals in this one. The game against Vegas didn't get over the total. I have a very hard time seeing this one not get over the total. But at the exact same time, I don't bet a lot of these, and I'm going a little long here, so I'll just say this. One bet that stood out to me quite a bit was Dobish over 25.5 saves. Whether or not the over hits, Carm, in this game or the under hits, we know Colorado's going to pepper shots on goal. They won't be happy with the start they had. So unless Colorado puts up 6 or 7 goals, I think Dobish is going to have to make a ton of saves. Over 25.5 saves, prop bet for me today. What do you think?
Man, my first day back this week, and we're going mano a mano on this one. I like the under. I think, honestly, I like the under in this game. Okay. Listen, I just get it.
Hey, good for my save prop then. Not bad.
Yeah, listen, I thought, and I released Montreal as a play, and they got it done in overtime against Vegas. But they did a very good job of limiting chances for the for the Vegas Golden Knights. They did very good chances. The very good thing of back checking, of picking up, that third guy and turning those 3-on-2s into 3-on-3s, and that's why I like. It's the neutral zone play from them, and they're going to need it against Colorado. But it's you look at it, and a phrase I think I used in one of my write-ups today was that teams seem to be crawling to the finish line, and I think. Not the end of the season finish line, but right now they're crawling to, because of this schedule in January that has been absolutely brutal. Teams are crawling to this Olympic break. They're just waiting for it. All these teams are waiting for next week to roll around and the 5th to come, and they're like, okay, we're done. And some of them are going to get a vacation. Some of them are going to have to go and to Milan and play for their countries. But this is a Colorado team right now that isn't performing well. A couple of guys missing. The 5-3 scoreline or 5-2 scoreline is a skewed one because it was like 2 empty net goals by the Ottawa Senators. So essentially, it was a 3-2 game with a couple goals to either get you a win on the total or frustrate the hell out of you with the under. And hopefully that isn't something that happens tonight. But the Habs can stick with Colorado tonight. Keep this a low-scoring game. The keys for Montreal winning this game is to keep this low scoring. You don't want to get in a shoe with Montreal, but I think Montreal plays better at home, and they might be catching the Avs at the absolute right time here. So I don't think they're going to upset them, and I don't even think plus 110 is an upset. I think a lot of people are looking at Colorado, Andrew, right now and saying minus 130 on Colorado off of an embarrassing loss last night. It wasn't an embarrassing loss. Ottawa is still a good team, missing pieces that could make them a much better team and a playoff team. So, with that said, if Montreal plays almost a carbon copy of the game they played against the Vegas Golden Knights. They send another West team home with no points or a point. I'm good with 2-2 settled in overtime. Somebody
Hey, you
gets
know
the
what?
loser point.
The more I talk about the game, the more I just really like that save prop, Carm. So I think that kind of benefits the both of us. If you hit the under, there's probably a good chance that I hit that saves prop. So over 25.5 saves for Dobish and under 6.5 for Carm on that game. I think it's good. I think the biggest thing for you with the under is surviving the first 10 minutes. And I know that sounds like an exaggeration, but you're going to have a hungry team early on. If they can settle into the game, then I think we'll be just fine.
Yeah, someone said that in the chat. I always find these funny that Colorado pretty much stopped playing in the third period to save themselves for the Montreal Canadiens tonight, and that they normally will pound on teams like Toronto and Montreal. The Canadiens are 3-1-1 against this Colorado team their last 5 games. So the last game that they played was a 7-2 game in Colorado, but they're not in Colorado. They're in Montreal, and I'm not totally convinced it's going to be a blowout. So so I'll go with that one. And Lorenzo, yes, our office is absolutely fantastic. I'm missing Melissa and Paula. They took care of him. He wanted a starter pack in soccer, Andrew, and I got him a $70 off coupon.
Great.
So he gets 30 days in soccer for $99, and I would do that for anybody who hasn't been a part of it and would like to join along. So you just reach out to me, and I'll get you guys hooked up. Absolutely love that. So I'm going with the under, but I will still give you and our good buddy Don Julio Buster the Montreal win tonight, even though I'm staying off the game. 6.5 just seems too high for me, Andrew.
Yeah, I get it. And you know what? Blackwood's a pretty good goalie too, right? So, you don't really have to worry about that very much. Or both goalies at that for Colorado are pretty good here. Sorry, it'll be Wedgwood, but he's got a 214 goals against and a 918 save percentage.
He's
so
also
we'll see what happens here. And one thing I'll say about Dobish is that people have accused him of being a bit too emotional. He had one loss earlier in the year where he kind of like cried after the game. I think that because he realizes now he might have the chance to be the starting goalie, he could potentially get that confidence and swagger back, which could overall help them out quite a bit. So I look forward to watching this one tonight, Carm. Look forward to watching this one tonight.
Yeah. Andrew, and we talk about, and another reason why, and that's what I wanted to mention is with Blackwood starting yesterday, it's likely going to be Wedgwood in goal tonight. He hasn't started in the last 4 games. They've gone with the Blackwood. So it's Blackwood start against Ottawa, Toronto, and Philadelphia. But you look at his games, allows a 1 goal in an OT loss to Anaheim, where they lose 2-1 I believe it was in a shootout. Allows 2 goals against the Washington Capitals, allows 2 the previous game against Ottawa, in which they beat Ottawa 8-2, and then a 3-2 and another 3. He's had 1 bad game, and that was a 6-5 win over the Vegas Golden Knights. He's had quality starts, and you look at the games, and majority of those games were all unders in which he started. So he's a goalie that fits this situation. I think a rested goalie coming in. And it's a team that played last night. I'm hoping for goals, for no goals. With my luck, you'll probably hit it when it's 3-3 at the end of the first.
We'll see what happens.
So hopefully not, man. This is one game, Andrew.
Yep.
This is one game where, looking at the odds, I think it's the first time this year, and you guys can correct me if I'm wrong, the first time this year I have seen a 7 at BetMGM, I think it was. I'm seeing San Jose and Edmonton at 7, juiced a little bit to the under, but a 7, man. We've seen some 6.5s juiced to the over. 7. I'll have a quick look to see if it is still there.
I did see one the other day, Edmonton versus Anaheim. Anaheim, there was a 7, but this is the first time we've seen a lot of them early in the day, because you know how sometimes they wait to put the 7s up late in the day a little bit. just for some coverage. This is what 11 a.m. Eastern. They got a 7 up already.
Yeah, it's nuts. And if you look at the VIG across the board on WagerTalk's live lines and on Odds Logic, which I highly recommend to you guys, at least grab a week free and test it out. Andrew, the over 6.5 is like minus 140 and higher, and higher. That's normally 140 is normally the line in the sand where the book says we can't move it any higher. We have to make it a 7 and then juice the under. But books don't like pushes, right? So they're like, if someone wants to pay for over 6.5 and they want to give us 45 cents on that bet, we're more than happy to take it, because we're not going to have a lot of people that want the under 6.5 at plus money. So what are your thoughts?
And I remember there was a run like a year or two ago with the 7s where they were actually going under, but I will say like that, you know how it is, Carm, when you lose a bet on something, you just can't get it out of your mind. When it was the Ducks and Oilers game, I took the Oilers first period minus a half goal, and they only scored 1 goal in the first period. You know how many they scored in the second? I think like 3 or 4 goals. And so it's like, you know, that game had 8 goals after 40 minutes of play. So sometimes you listen to the books and you say, okay, you know, there's a reason why, you know, they're giving us this number, I guess, right now. Look, I think it's a great story with what San Jose is doing. I think that they've been really impressive. I think they've changed their roster completely. I think it's been really cool to see them become buyers for once and not become sellers anymore. But at the end of the day, though, I still will take this Oilers team over the Sharks. I just think they're a team that I want to be a little bit more involved in, because right now their high dangerous chances are greater than San Jose's high danger chances. They're a team that's able to overwhelm you more with their depth. And I still believe, like, we had that stat we put up on the screen a little while ago, I think last week maybe, where Macklin Celebrini was responsible for 48% of the goals that San Jose has scored this season. Like, that is way too many goals. Like, he is carrying this team, and it's so impressive to see. It's why he made the Olympic team. And, you know, obviously a guy like McDavid, he carries the Oilers, but I just think there's a lot more that he brings. So it's a little bit chalky here, Carm, but I don't mind dealing with it. I'm going to take over 3.5 goals for the Edmonton Oilers here. I just think they're going to overwhelm the San Jose Sharks. And this San Jose team, in a little bit of a way, they've still kind of been relying on their offense to win them games. But this, to me, is a game of anything you can do, I can do better. And I feel like Edmonton is, an older version and more skilled team of the San Jose Sharks. So I think over 3.5 for them. And a great one here from Jay Main, because I saw this on floating around social media as well. Edmonton has not won 3 games in a row all year long. So it's a big game for them tonight. We'll see if they can get on a little bit of a streak here.
Yeah. It's crazy when you look at these stats, but Andrew, to your point of, like, because you mentioned, and I have to talk about it, like Macklin Celebrini, and if you saw, like, there's some stuff trending of like trying to compare Macklin Celebrini to McKenna, who is still hasn't made it to the NHL, but likely the number 1 pick in the draft this coming year. You can't compare the guys. I think of the class of guys that we have from the drafts of the last 2 or 3 years: Connor Bedard, Macklin Celebrini, Leo Carlson. These guys who came in, Celebrini's far and above. Like, he just looks like the best guy to me. And no disrespect to Connor Bedard, but like, I look at Celebrini and he's just like, he looks like he's been playing in the league for 6-7 years. He is so polished right now. And if you watch San Jose Shark games, you'll know. And I'm watching the games, and this guy is just, he knows when to get it off. He knows how to position himself in the offensive zone. He back checks. He's just, he's a unicorn. The guy is a unicorn, man. In the NHL, where we see a lot of busts in the first round draft picks. The guy is a unicorn. He's playing absolutely fantastic, and it is just an upside for the San Jose Sharks and why they're competing right now for a playoff spot. Plus 180. I'm not getting to all of this and saying, well, I think they're a live dog at plus 180, but I wouldn't fault anybody for taking the San Jose Sharks to where they're playing right now at plus 180 tonight. Freaky Friday has taken the day off, Andrew. Tonight might be Freaky Thursday because there's only one game tomorrow. So we're going to see a couple of really weird teams win tonight. I don't know who they are. I do have one, and I'm going to mention it when we're done with this game.
Yeah, I get it. Like, I think I'm just on looking at a website right now, trying to figure out some of the last couple of games that this San Jose team played. So, I mean, minus 130 versus Vancouver, minus 120 versus the New York Rangers. But what's the number on them as an underdog right now, Carm?
Plus 180 right now.
Plus 180. So, I mean, you've been able to see them cash these tickets as, plus 180 against LA, plus 115 against Columbus, plus one. But I think overall, when you look at, I'm just scrolling down these game logs. When they've been like plus 180 or higher, they've struggled. In the plus 120 to 140 range, they've been a cash cow. Like, it's very easy for me to come on here and say, and I've been transparent with people all year long. Like, I hope people can know that I'm just trying to relate to everybody as well and being real. I wish I took the San Jose Sharks more this year. Same reason I wish I faded the Canucks more this year. But now it gets to the point where it's like, do you think if the books respected the Sharks a bit more here, that the number wouldn't be minus 220?
Yeah. This is, I don't think the Sharks are getting the respect they rightfully deserve at times. I don't know what you price this at if you, in saying that, but, let's look at like the Sharks last 12 to 14 games on the road. As far as playing good teams, because they have a very good record on the road, but right now, but they went into Carolina. That they were a dog and probably a considerable dog in that one. They beat Carolina 4-1. They go into Toronto where that they're a dog, and they beat the Toronto Maple Leafs 3-2 in OT. We can go a little further up. They go into Washington, first the LA Kings and then Washington for road games where they're underdogs and beat them. They go into Florida and beat the Florida Panthers before losing to Tampa Bay, and they were a dog in that game as well too, and probably a considerable dog against the Florida Panthers. So can this team win against good teams? Of course they can. They've proven it. Will they beat the Edmonton Oilers tonight? I don't know, but they're going to give them a run for their money.
I'll give you one last rebuttal here.
Yes,
they beat the Blue Jackets. They're not a playoff team. They beat the Kings. They haven't been that great lately. You beat Florida, not a playoff team. The Rangers, not a playoff team.
Kings have won 3 in a row.
Vancouver, not a playoff team. How serious do we take them? That's my big question. I feel like this could be one of those games here where, because of how big the number is, people are excited to jump in on San Jose. But I'll tell you, they do play a good brand of hockey. But let me ask you this. I know we got some more games to get to. Are you convinced that there's a possibility San Jose could win this game and it not go over the total? Because that's kind of where I look at it, where it's the anything you can do, I can do better. If you told McDavid, this game tonight will not end until one of you guys gets to 7 goals, I would bet on Edmonton to win that game.
Okay. I wouldn't entirely blame you. Andrew, this line opened up at the opening line here was minus 225 in the Oilers, plus 182 is the take back on San Jose.
Yeah,
it's currently it's currently at 195 and plus 158 on the WagerTalk live lines, which is free as well too. They're currently a lower price on the Sharks to win this game. So I get it. Your correlation, it does make sense. If you're going to beat the Oilers, you need to outscore them. Sometimes you can just get a team that plays extremely well defensively. The New York Islanders win in And we saw what Sorokin did, kind of, figuratively, not literally, stood on his head, and the Islanders came away with a 1-0 victory, right, in that
Chuck
game.
Pod
So
says 93% of the money is on Dallas tonight. What do you guys think about
yeah,
that one? I think Vegas could win tonight because I think it'd be the most Vegas thing to do. You lose to the Senators, you lose to the Canadians, and then you beat the Dallas Stars. That's
Andrew,
why I kind of lean towards the Vegas side.
let me toss a pizza. You tell me if you would play this one. I call this the pizza slice missing the pineapple, because it doesn't belong on a pizza. 2-team money line underdog parlay. You tell me what you think of this one. I'm not a huge parlay fan, but I'm going to play this one for the hell of it, and then order a pizza tomorrow if it wins, because these are late games. I am taking the San Jose Sharks tonight at plus money. I am taking the Calgary Flames in Minnesota, Andrew. The Calgary Flames in Minnesota tonight to win. And why do I like the Flames? Well, they do play well against Minnesota. Minnesota's has been playing sort of like 50-50 hockey and had a big comeback win. But if it's Devin Cooley in goal tonight, Andrew, in January, he has started 4 times. He's 2-1-1. His goals against average is 1.5. His save percentage, this is his save percentage in January, 950. 950.
Wow.
You don't see numbers like that. Do they have a chance? Of course they do, because they always seems to play these this Minnesota team tight. These teams have split 2 games this season. Minnesota won at home 2-0. Calgary beat them in Calgary 4-1. I think Calgary's won 5 of the last 6 games against Minnesota. So, with that said, I think Calgary is a live dog tonight. So Calgary, one Alberta team wins, one Alberta team loses. Let's hope I got those 2 in the right order. And what does that pay, you ask? Well, let me tell you, Andrew. That pays plus 626. So you're getting a little over 6-1 on your money. Who's with me on this crazy 2-teamer? Andrew, are you with me?
That's a pretty good price there. I will say that's a pretty good price. The thing is, okay, the Calgary Flames, what is the deal with this team? Like, they better trade Blake Coleman. I hope that my Canadians can get Nazem Kadri. I don't know what the deal is, but they have to tank. They need to tank. Their management is so stupid for refusing to rebuild. I don't really understand what their deal is.
Andrew, I haven't had a chance to, other than, yes, I have testicular fortitude. Both of them are in place exactly where they should be. And that's why it's a 2-teamer. But with that said, Andrew, I haven't had a chance to address the Toronto Maple Leafs all week. And you guys know I have. And I tell my friends this the whole time. Listen, one of the things that has ruined the NHL, and these guys are unaware of, they come up with these trades in the WhatsApp. If we can get we'll get Huberdor from Calgary, and he'll look good on the first line, and then we pick up this guy and this guy. The guy's on the 3rd year of like an 8-year, $10 million contract or whatever in Calgary. Calgary's not eating that money to send him to Toronto for free. The Leafs don't have that cap space. Now is the time for the Leafs to put Matthew Nyes on the injury reserve list. The team has too many players with no trade contracts. Andrew, that team needs to be blown up because their defense is unrecognizable. I get flack from my friends when I say you guys have OEL on that you should trade right now. He's at as high a value as you can get on Oliver Ekman-Larsson is right now. He's not going to have the same season next year. If you trade him now, you're going to get a number 1 pick in the draft for him. Trade the guy. Trade McMahon.
Yes.
Accumulate some draft picks and start this over again. Matthews is gone when that 2-year extension that he signed is gone, or he agrees to change his no trade clause. There's too many people with the no trade clause I think it was Brian Burke that originally started the no trade clause to try and keep a player there. And now every team has like 10 guys who have a no trade clause, and it is ruined. And then for you guys in the US, one more quick diatribe from me, Andrew, and then I will throw it back to you. For you guys who don't understand why players don't want to come to Canada, it's clear and simple. Here's the tax on it, in case you don't understand. Let's assume Andrew is playing for the Florida Panthers, and he's making $6 million a year in Florida, 82 games, 41 games at home. Andrew does not pay tax on the income earned in those 41 games. That contract is split over those games. When they play Tampa Bay, still no tax on that money. They come to Canada. If you're playing in Canada and you're playing 20 games against Canadian teams, you're being taxed at the Canadian tax rate, which is absolutely insane. Every state that you play in, you pay their tax. So you get like, you guys get up here. It's like a T4 slip, Andrew. Down there, I don't know if it's like a 1042 or whatever you call the tax slip that you get down there. That's what they're paying in tax. So if you're a guy in Florida, why would you ever come to Toronto or any team in Canada where half of your income, 41 games, is taxed at as an insanely a high amount. Plus, you're going to play some Canadian teams. Essentially, 65 to 70% of your contract is going to be taxed at a rate in which it doesn't make any sense to want to come north of the border. And
the biggest example is Brad Marchand. Look at Brad Marchand and Sam Bennett. Everybody thought all year last year after they won, or all summer after they won the Stanley Cup, there was no chance they were both going to get signed back. What happens? They both take less money because they're staying in Florida. So, I mean, we could talk about that till we're blue in the face, but I agree with you on the fact that Toronto's got to make some moves. But we got a comment here saying Seattle still have a chance to make the playoffs. They're plus 310 right now. It's going to be a really, really big battle for them. I think for them, their goal this year, Joe, should just be competitive, have a good finish to the year, and try and make some quality moves in the offseason. Carm, you weren't here yesterday. Buster and I kind of talked about how, the Islanders were the play yesterday, but it was a back-to-back, home and home with the Rangers and the Islanders here. I said on yesterday's show, even though the Rangers have been so bad at home, it would not shock me if both teams win. So, Steve, I haven't bet it. I am rooting for you, but it was one of those things, Carm, where I kind of said, hey, look, it wouldn't shock me if both teams ended up with a win in that home and home. Any thoughts for you? I mean, the Islanders are playing much better than this Rangers team. So am I overthinking it? You tell me.
I don't think you're overthinking it. Just to go on a couple things, Andrew. Okay, first of all, as far as like the Seattle Kraken are, wins in 3 of the last 4. I think it's very important because they're going to get a Leafs team coming into town today. They're limping in, and maybe a good thing that they got away from home and looking to get some a win on the West Coast. But the Seattle Kraken could beat them tonight. I absolutely believe so because they're playing well. You look at the Kraken's last 4 games, Andrew. They beat the Islanders 4-1. They lose to the Anaheim Ducks 4-2. They beat the New Jersey Devils, who have been winning games recently, and they beat the Washington Capitals, who I don't know what is wrong with the Washington Capitals right now. But also, I think someone posted news earlier that Logan Thompson wasn't on the ice tonight, so it could be Lindgren in goal for them tonight as well too. But to your point of Seattle and the guy there, sure, they can make the playoffs, but I think someone has to drop off. And the Colorado, Minnesota, Dallas, the Vegas Golden Knights, and the Edmonton Oilers are in all possibility going to make the playoffs. They should be making the playoffs. So Utah, Anaheim, San Jose, LA Kings, and the Seattle Kraken. 3 of those 5 teams will vie for those 5 teams will vie for 3 playoff spots.
Yeah.
I want an Andrew McInnis prediction. 3 of those 5 teams are going to make the playoffs. Who are they? Utah, Anaheim, San Jose, LA Kings, Seattle Kraken.
I think San Jose is going to miss. I think the Kings end up making it. So I need 3 teams.
Yes. So you're down to now Utah, Anaheim, and Seattle Kraken.
I'll take Utah and Anaheim.
Utah, Anaheim, and the LA Kings. All right, there you
Yeah.
have it. I am going to clip this segment, and then we will air it at the end of this season, where we call it "You Should Have Listened to Andrew" and parlayed those 3 to make the playoffs.
We'll see what
I'm
happens.
gonna take the odds on that. I love it. I love putting you on the clock and asking you these things.
I like it.
It's totally unscripted.
Well, Bean Show commented earlier when I was saying I wish that I'd faded the Sharks more. He said bet the Sharks more. He goes, it's not too late. And I get it's not too late, but it's also like, are they going to be able to maintain this success for the rest of the season? You know, if the Sharks make the playoffs, it'll be a really great story, but there's a real good possibility that they end up getting really close and they don't end up getting all the way there. So we'll see. 2 questions here I wanted to mention just really quick, and then that'll be it for me with the questions. Carm was Red Wings money line and Kane 2 points from highest scoring American player ever. Kind of interesting stuff to look at here. And Carm, I've been waiting for the regression from the Red Wings, and I mean, they still look pretty damn good, but they've kind of dropped off a little bit. Washington coming off a game they will not be happy about. They got slapped around against Seattle. This is a big game here for the Capitals. I'm going to have my eye on this one. Not sure if I'll end up pulling the trigger here, but any thoughts overall on the Kane props or the Capitals and Detroit game?
Yeah, so I like the way the Wings are playing. They're off that loss, obviously, to the LA Kings. I'm talking about the Detroit Red Wings off that loss to the Kings. But they've been playing extremely well. You know, they picked up points in 4 of their last 5. If you're just looking at sort of short term, and they're 1 point behind Tampa for not only the lead in the Atlantic, but the lead overall in the Eastern Conference. They're playing extremely well. At what point, Andrew? This is the thing: is at what point do we give up on saying, you know, the Washington Capitals, the New Jersey Devils, the New York Rangers, the Toronto Maple Leafs, they can still make the playoffs. They just need to put a run together. I talked about how in December, when you fall 8 points behind, it is tough to make that back unless you go on an insane run, kind of like the Blues did many years back. But Andrew, I think the Capitals are a play against team right now. The one thing that gets me with the Capitals is if you look at teams 9 through 16 in the Eastern Conference, the Capitals are the only team. The Ottawa Senators joined them yesterday with those 2 empty net goals. But going into last night, I will say the Washington Capitals are the only team not in the playoffs that have a plus goal differential, which is normally you can tell a team scoring goals and they're not allowing as much. 171, 164. They are +7. Ottawa's +3. Those are the only 2 teams. Every other team has a negative goal differential in the league. The Leafs are -9. Philly -10. Columbus 11. Even the Florida Panthers, who have won 3 of their last 5 games, are -9 in goal differential. Look at the standings from last year. Look at the standings from the year before and the year before that, and you're going to see that the top 8 teams in each conference always have a plus goal differential, and the ones below it always have a negative. So at what point do you start fading the Washington Capitals and say, I've had enough? I've lost enough money on this, Andrew.
Yeah.
I can't find an argument to take the Washington Capitals tonight. Can they go in and win on any given night? Any team can beat any team, but the way the Wings are playing right now, and I have to believe that rightfully so, they should be favored and likely get the win tonight.
Yeah, we'll see. I mean, that game will tell us a lot what we have to know. Professor Bruska commented saying, feels like a 3-2 game. And I'll tell you, I kind of lean towards the under in that game. When Washington gets a little bit embarrassed defensively, typically they end up looking for a defensive game in their next one. So a lot of good games here today, guys. We'll have some free content, of course, on our X pages as well. Carmine at Carmine Bianco WT, myself at McInnis Picks, and gonna have a bunch of prop plays out as well. So looking forward to a good one. Looking forward to a great slate. And I'll tell you what, I do got a little parlay here for you, Carm, and it does include the Oilers game. Let's bring it up. We've got McDavid 2 points, Bouchard 1 assist, Hyman 3 shots, and Mr. Leon to get a goal anytime, plus 435. Shop around to get the best prices you possibly can, guys. But I do think this is a good one, and I feel like we're going to see who the real San Jose Sharks team is. Can the real San Jose Sharks please stand up? Because I don't know if they can play defense against this Edmonton Oilers team. We'll find out. But I do think that this Oilers team will have some success. Debean Show says, so good to have Carm back. I missed that noggin of his. Good to see you. He's happy to see you, Carm. I mean, look,
I appreciate all the messages that I've gotten.
This show should be the hair and the head, or the hair and the.
And I would be remiss, and Andrew, good luck with that. I'd be remiss if we didn't have a pod play for today. 15 games. I got to come up with something, and this is a client play, so we'll pop it up there. But this is tonight's pod play, and I'll explain my theory on this one. Like I mentioned, the Olympic breaks here. Teams are crawling to get to this sort of finish line or the break on that comes after the games on the 5th. And you look at Vegas. Vegas lose 3 out of 4 games on this road trip. They had that one emotional game, and then were completely flat after that in beating the Leafs with Mitch Marner's return. Now they make the trip back. They play on the 27th. They're traveling East Coast to West Coast for this game. They've had one day off, which is their travel day, and they get the Dallas Stars, a team that is starting to win games after going 2-12 stretch. They are starting to win some games again. They won 3 of the last 4. Their scoring is up, and they beat this Vegas team 4-3 in overtime earlier. They've actually won 6 of the last 8 meetings against the Vegas Golden Knights. I think it's a good spot here to take plus money with the Dallas Stars, and I'm taking them plus 112 as your pod play.
The pod play is back. All right, guys, the pod play is back. We've got 15 games on the board in the NHL. Carm, before I throw it to you, I'm just going to throw this out here, guys. I mentioned yesterday on the show, but I'm super excited. Going to start firing some plays off already. I've got an Olympic package up at WagerTalk.com, Olympic men's hockey. Don't worry about hockey picks for 2 weeks. We're going to have you covered on Wager Talk with free content. I'm going to have all my best picks. You're probably going to get 15 to 20 picks overall between sides, totals, and props. And if not, you're definitely going to get some strong plays as well on that package. You can get this deal for $59. WT.buzz/AM, $59, guys. If I have any 5% plays during the Olympics, those are $35. Get every single thing I release that includes futures, sides, totals, props, whatever it is. And because of the weird times with the Olympic Games here, you're going to want to get this package. Forget about buying singular picks. $59, men's Olympic package. Don't miss out, guys. I'm going to be doing content, absolutely, but all my best bets will be inside that package, WT.buzz/AM. I love the international hockey, and I'm working with the hockey news every single day. I'm talking to beat reporters. I'm covering the tournament. I will be tapped in with it. $59 to get every single play. And Carm, you know as well as I do, it is not the same as regular NHL hockey. We've got spreads already out in hockey that are plus and minus 4.5, 3.5. We've got this is looking like some football spreads here for some of these games. So that all goes into my handicapping. You guys might have to sweat out a pick for me where I'm on Carmine's Italians at plus 6.5 goals. We're getting a touchdown here in some of these games in a hockey game. So don't miss out, guys. $59 for one package for the Olympics. Looking forward to it.
Andrew, it's going to be extremely fun. I know we got to get going as well too. So I'll do the promo first, but I want to talk to you really quickly about the Olympics. Multiple games up for me tonight in the NHL, including a 5% play, and then some client plays as well too. 2 plays up in the final match day of Europa League, match day 8. There are, I think, 18 games going at 3 p.m. I have a couple of them, and I might add a few more as well too to that. Pick up a 1-day all access and get all of those. Andrew, how good? I'm not going to say they would compete for a medal, but the Italian team, if the Italian team had the NHL players on them, and they don't, the Italian team is going with NHL players, Andrew, they have a pretty good team there, man. Mangiapane is one of them. Like they have quite a few guys that could actually win a couple games in the Olympics, but they don't. They won't be playing them. They're starting a full Olympic team. Maybe that's what needs to happen with all of it to get rid of the professionals. The Olympics were originally made for amateurs to compete for medals and gold medals and such. But with that said, I did bet on Team Canada to win the Olympic gold at Circa. I look forward to cashing that ticket. I know I'm going to get a lot of hate from you guys in the U.S. and Canada in the gold medal game. There is no other gold medal game that makes sense. I'm sorry. Canada and the U.S. That needs to happen.
I'm curious what's going to happen, man. There's going to be one or two upsets. I was saying that I had to, fill out some surveys for the Hockey News, and some of the questions were which will be the best goalie or the best goal scorer and all that stuff. And I said that Sweden's going to have a really good tournament, but then now I'm starting to get a little bit worried because Team Sweden is very banged up. Ekman Larsson, Nylander, Hedman, a lot of these guys have been dealing with injuries. So that's a little bit tough to look at. But the MVP, I'll leave this with all of you guys, and that will be my final thing to say. The MVP, as we saw somebody comment about the price, Sidney Crosby is 35-1 to win the MVP. Hal said he saw 60-1. If you saw 60-1, I would take that and run. But the top guys right now are McDavid, McKinnon, Matthews, and Hellebuck for the MVP of the tournament. So check it out, guys. Check out these odds. It's going to be a really, don't forget, Carm, people last year, for some reason, they weren't that excited about the Four Nations tournament. Like when I got the 2 tickets for me and my old man, I think it was around like $700, $900. I could have sold both those tickets each for like $2,000 a piece. The tournament got so much hype. People got so into it. And that's going to happen again here, where Americans, Canadians, Swedes, people from Finland, wherever you're from, people are going to get into it. The only thing that sucks for us in North America is the time zone. But I think it's going to be a really fun tournament, and just wait until the energy people get. So I'm going to be doing content for it. I hope you guys watch and check it out.
Andrew, nothing really changes with the time difference. Most people are up on their laptops doing Buffalo spins in the casinos of their sports books, which I do not recommend doing those Buffalo casino spins. So it's just watching and betting on something else. But at least with the Olympic hockey, you're going to be giving out a ton of plays. We're going to be doing some content, and at least it gives you a fighting chance of making some money. Yes, Buffalo Bean Show. My friends love that video game. Everyone does, apparently. But with that said, guys, we will have a show. It'll be a shortened show on Friday because there's only one game. We'll do a couple of look-aheads possibly for the Saturday card. And, of course, a same-game parlay from Andrew, a 6 and 60 from me as well, too, heading into the weekend. And that's about it. So head over to WagerTalk. If you like the show, drop a comment in the comment section. Hit that like button on your way out. Subscribe as well, too. And you can find our plays over at WagerTalk as well, too. For myself, Andrew McInnis, and the in and out very quickly Prez. This is Puck Time. We will see you on Friday.